This was my first axis lock. I wanted to kind of get my feet wet with axis locks, and this one just, you know, was a great starter for that. Again, we have a D2 blade that is stone washed, so take a look there at the finish. Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel and you're watching Miguel EDC. Welcome back. Today we have another knife review. Today we're going to be reviewing this guy right here. This knife is called the Flissa, right? I believe that's how it's pronounced, because I mean that's how it's spelled pretty much. The Flissa pocket knife. That's it. No other fancy name. I guess they didn't want to get creative with it. They just call it the Flissa pocket knife. And I don't know, that I kind of wish they named it something different, something unique. Like you got the Civivi Elementum, the Kershaw Leak, right? But this one is just the Flissa pocket knife. Now this is an interesting one. I gotta tell you guys, I am definitely very impressed with how this knife has performed. I have gotten a chance to EDC this knife for the last 2 weeks. If you missed the unboxing video on the channel, make sure to check that out. I'll probably drop a card somewhere so you can see that, maybe put it in the description as well. But let's talk about this knife. Let's first open it up. Let's see the action. Boom, look at that. This is an axis lock style knife. So again, open with the axis, right? Just like that. But look at the action. Look at the action, guys. You could do that all day. It's so butter smooth, so fidgety, right? Of course, you could open it with your thumb if you wanted to for a slower action, right? You could do that. Can you do the reverse flick? Boom, all day, every day, guys, all day, every day. You want to be careful with that blade when it comes back, because it definitely, you know, slides back very fast. But the reverse flick action right there, so you can see, it is so addicting, so addicting and so fidgety. So what are we working with for the Flissa pocket knife? So, well, right off the bat, we have a stone washed D2 blade. That's what we're dealing with right here. And I gotta tell you, this blade right here looks like nothing else that I have seen. Kind of looks like a Warncliffe in a way, modified drop point Warncliffe sort of blade. To me, it kind of looks like a Cybertruck. That's kind of what I fell in love with this knife when I was just looking through Amazon, looking at different knives and whatnot, looking for something different, looking for something unique. This thing looks like the Tesla Cybertruck. I'm like, yeah, let me try that out. Let me test that out and see what that's all about. So yes, D2 stone wash blade. For the handle here, we're dealing with black G10. We got G10 going on as well. And yes, I mean, this does not get old. So let me tell you guys about my experience EDC in this guy. It's definitely been over 2 weeks for sure. This guy this has been through so many cardboards. We have a fireplace that we started doing like every other night pretty much, and we were burning wood and some cardboard and things like that to get the fire started, and this thing cut through that cardboard like nobody's business. So again, the design just spoke to me right off the bat, because it just looks so different. I don't think there is a knife out there. You guys let me know in the comment. Something to keep in mind sometimes when dealing with these Chinese brands is, you know, is it a copy of something that already exists? Is it a knockoff? Is it a clone? That's always an important conversation to have, or something to think about. I definitely do not like supporting clones or copies of, you know, authentic original designs, but this to me did not look like anything out there, unless I just haven't found it yet. Let me know in the comments. It looked pretty unique. Again, it looks very Cybertruck type of style, kind of futuristic, so different than so many other knife designs out there. And this was actually my first axis lock, believe it or not, my very first axis lock. So I have flippers and some other opening mechanisms and whatnot, but this was my first axis lock. I wanted to kind of get my feet wet with axis locks, and this one just, you know, was a great starter for that. Again, we have a D2 blade that is stone washed, so take a look there at the finish. It's gonna be able to hide any lines or any scratches and things like that from cuts very well, because it is stone washed. There's no jimping here at the top, as typically the case with knives that have this big opening on the blade itself. I'll give you a perfect example. Here's another guy that we recently reviewed in the channel, the Civivi Ortis, right? And because it has a somewhat similar opening, although a little bit smaller on the Civivi, right? There'll be no jimping on the top of the blade, just because that would only make that section there much weaker. So yeah, check out the review on this guy if you haven't already. I'll also put a card up there also if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, same deal here with that G10. These are some thick G10 scales on this guy. As far as the inside, it is not milled whatsoever, so I'm sure this here is going to be some sort of stainless steel, right? But it is not milled. That's why it's over 3 ounces, right? So that's something to keep in mind as well. It should be a very robust knife. So locking mechanism, this is an axis lock, right? Axis lock. I think Omega springs are typically the issue with axis locks and things like that, right? And you probably see inside, there you go, you can see a little bit, there's some pocket flint all over the place, but yeah, you can see kind of that milling there for the Omega spring. Yeah, that is what axis locks are all about. So there's a spring that holds the blade there, and by the way, that's pretty locked in place. That's not going anywhere. And then when you pull back on the bar right there, if you pull back on this bar, see this bar right here with the Omega springs, then it releases the blade, right? And by the way, this one just slides back and forth like a guillotine, so you want to make sure your fingers are out of the way. Otherwise, you could risk getting some cuts. Although, you'll have to be kind of like a rookie for that to happen. I feel like as long as you have some good practice with, just folding knives or axis locks, you'll be all right. I was new to it, and it didn't, it was not an issue for me at all. As far as sharpening, right, got a nice sharpening choil right there, which is pretty good. How does it feel on the hand? Well, when I grab the handle here, right, you can get a nice comfortable grabbing handle position here. Only a tiny bit of handle left. I do have average hands, so not too big or too small, but this is plenty of handle, at least for me, right? And yeah, as far as the kind of cuts forward, backwards cuts, I want to say yes, you'll be all right with those as well. Let's do something that I haven't done for any of the other reviews, and that is the paper cutting test. I want to say again, this guy has been through so many cardboard boxes, I can't even begin to explain, but here we go. Let's test it and see how it does. All right. I get a little bit of, all right, you guys be the judge of that. So even after, some use, right, some hardcore use, right, obviously I'm not gonna, cut a tree down with my knife. These are, I do use my knives in very, very, daily sort of task, like opening some boxes or envelopes or cutting cardboard, to start a campfire or what have you. So even after some good use, after a good number of weeks now, probably about a month or more, it still cuts, like you would expect out of the box. It's not the sharpest. I'm sure when it came out of the box, it was a lot sharper than it is now, but you could see for yourself, right? It's retaining so far a good cutting edge. So some closing thoughts here, guys. This knife comes at about $28 right now. I want to say it was a little bit cheaper when I got it. It has gone up maybe $1 or $2. Check the links in the description again. Those do help out the channel. That is totally up to you, of course. But again, for the price under $30, right, you are getting a sub solid knife. It is a Chinese knife. It is not a very well-known brand. They do make a multi-tool, right, that I'm also planning on reviewing in the channel. This one is a little bit controversial because they say, a lot of people have said that this one looks like the Leatherman Wave, right? So if you want to see the review on this guy, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll be kind of touching on that, and I'll be explaining a few things during that review. But yes, that is the same brand right there, Flissa, and this is a very good multi-tool, at least so far in my experience. I'll go over that more during the review. But yeah, for a folding knife, I think they have a smaller version of this guy as well, so they have some different variations for it also. But I mean, $28, it is a good price, and I feel like the quality is there. I've been using the crap out of this guy, and you know, still holding on like a solid trooper, right? Like pretty much every other knife that I have. There's really not a lot to complain about. Like, I'm really thinking through, you know, what are my dislikes, and really not a lot to think about as far as dislikes, right? The handle is kind of interesting right here with what kind of the design, but it doesn't bother me in any way. So the ergos are really good, even with that kind of unique design there, right? Definitely it's not going to carry like a, you know, Boker Kalashnikov or anything like that, but you know, for what it is, right, with the thick G10 scales, right, feels nice and comfortable. Maybe the pocket clip, you know, I can feel that, you know, a little bit more than I would want to, but other than that, I mean, it is solid for the price. So if you like this review, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. After this review, we're gonna have the review of the multi-tool in the channel. It might just be live right now, so check out the card right here, right, if you want to see the review on this guy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.